Hi everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video. Well, actually, it's not going to be quick. Hopefully, I won't have to slip it into two parts. But yesterday I had watched a new newscast from W5 in Canada about CCSVI and Dr. Zamboni, and they dubbed it the Liberation War. I'll have a link in the bottom bar now. I guess it's moved. The doobly doo. And so you can go watch it and see it and inform yourself or inform your own opinions. I just wanted to put it out there, put my opinions out there. The first thing they did, which I did not know, the first thing they talked about was someone else. I had known someone else had suspected that MS was due to a vascular problem, was due to a narrowing in the veins, but I didn't know he was still living. I thought it was very old, but no. His name is Dr. Franz Schelling, and the only reason that I think he didn't succeed the way Dr. Zamboni has succeeded is because he didn't have social media. He didn't have YouTube. He didn't have the internet. Think about what was the first time you heard about CCSVI over the internet. Probably social media, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, a blog. So I think that's what single-handedly spread Dr. Zamboni's work across nations, across the world, was because of social media. So we have that to thank. We really do. I'm really happy that we are able to use this, especially in this time. But if Dr. Schelling had this before, this would have already been developed. I believe it would have already been developed. There would already have been procedures and things like that. So Dr. Schelling is definitely the grandfather of CCSVI, or at least the idea of it. The next person that the newscast talked to was Mark Friedman. He is a naysayer about it. He thinks it's due to placebo effect, and he does not want to push research and especially money and effort into something that might become a hoax. I don't think it's a placebo effect. I mean, it could be, especially things like, oh, I don't feel tired anymore. That could be a placebo effect, but when you have somebody that has secondary progressive MS, that they can only walk a certain amount of steps one day and they can only stand up a certain amount of time one day, and then the day after the procedure or the week after or the month after, they can all of a sudden walk better, they can stand better, their physical attributes become better. And so I don't think you can contribute that to a placebo effect. That's physical. I mean, that's no psychological. He says if someone thinks that they can get better, they can get better. Yeah, but when I was in the hospital laying in the bed, I thought I could get better and I wasn't. So I don't think we can attribute those kinds of accomplishments to the placebo effect. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's a placebo effect? Do you think he has no stance in the matter? I want to hear from you guys. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the web form, which was really exciting, actually. I actually had dreams that I was going to miss it. I was like, oh no, did I miss it? But it was by the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and they actually invited Dr. Zamboni, Dr. Miller, Dr. Zvadanov, Dr. Kamen. Dr. Miller is just the neurologist on the board of the Multiple Sclerosis Society. He just basically gave an overview. Is that my cat? Dr. Miller is a neurologist on the board of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and he just basically gave an overview of what MS is, a little bit of history about it, things that we all know, trust me. And then the next person to speak was Dr. Zamboni, which I was very excited for. He just basically recalled all the findings from the Buffalo study and the Stanford study and his study. And he just overviewed that in 100% of MS patients, he found the evidence of CCSVI, and so did Mamoon, I believe it is. Mamoon found 100% in the MS study, but Dr. Simca had found 100%, but he didn't have controls. So he just reviewed that for us. He does not think stents should be used. He says that outright. He does not think they're safe. He does not think they should be used, especially at this time. He thinks balloon venography or angioplasty for the veins should be used. And I agree with him. I can't say no to him because it's a treatment already developed for, angioplasties. I mean, it's already used. It's already been tested for the people with clogged arteries. I don't understand why it's such a big throwback to, using it for people with MS. And if you find that you have, a narrowed vein, I don't understand. And that's what he said, that he definitely wants to use venography. And venoplasty. And he says that, yes, with stents, they do not re-stenose or re-tighten, but the angioplasty can be repeated, and especially at a much safer environment, a much safer outcome than a stent. And a lot of the people saying no to it, they use the stents as oh no, someone has died, someone has had to have open heart surgery, things like that. Yeah, well, I rather go and do 2 or 3 venoplasties than have the stent done anyway. So, I'm sorry, but that shuts down their argument. And one person died. They did not die from the procedure. They did not die from the stent. They died from medication that was given them for I think it was blood thinners or anticoagulants, and he was told to stop. They said, do not continue, and then he continued and then later died. So, you cannot contribute that death to CCSVI. The person with open heart surgery, the stent did migrate, but that's because the closer to our heart, the veins and the arteries tend to be like this. The farther away they get, the narrower they get. The arteries' blood flow is up. So as you go up, the pressure up, if the stent does move, it just moves up and it gets stuck anyway where it was. So there's no harm, there's no worry about the stent going into the heart. But with veins, they're like this, but the blood flows down. The blood is flowing back to the heart. So if you put a stent here and the stent migrates down, it's a wider opening towards the bottom, and there's more worry about it migrating to the heart. So, those 3 reasons by themselves, I think I would shy away from stents anyway. But again, angioplasty for the veins, it's a 4-hour procedure. Our friend in Australia, Carrie, she recorded it all. She said it was fine, that there was no worries. I'll put a link in the sidebar to her experience. You should really watch it if you're interested in it.